here. I think everything, yep, I got the green lights. We are on. All right. Greetings and welcome to the basement. This is Landgart as always. And we're going to continue our relatively blind look at the creation kits. So let me get signed in here. Get this launched, and let's see here. While I'm waiting for this, actually, let me get layer cell view. My windows straightened up here a little bit. Oh, I miss dockable windows. After spending all day working in Unity and then coming to this, I really miss dockable windows. All right, let's get those files loading. I got to get a couple of web pages loaded up. Got to get the editor reference. Set that as my active file. Remember, you always want to make sure you set the ESP that you're working on as your active file. You never want to leave the Fallout 4 ESM file, the master file, as active. That does bad things, as I've said before. All right. So while that is doing its thing, one of the viewers clued me into something. Just want to show that real quick as soon as I get it up on my other screen here. If you go into your Fallout 4 installation folder, which should be wherever you happen to have your Steam library, Steam Apps, Common, Fallout 4, and you look through here, you will have an editor tips.txt file. If you open it up, this contains all of the various tips that load up, well, in this window right here. And this is going to contain all of the tips that will load up there, and some of these are pretty good. So like what I was trying to remember the other day was snapping to reference, Control-Shift-A to align to a reference's position, and Alt-Q clearing the snap. So snap reference. So that's what I was trying to remember earlier. So there's some pretty good tips in here. So I'm going to have that up and available for me on the other screen. And then I'm also going to get the wiki entry up. So that way I've got that available for reference as well. All right, looks like that has loaded up. So while that other side is loading, let's get Vault 198 loaded up and active, and get my warnings to go away. Now I need to fight editor confusion and make sure I don't try to control this like Unity. All right, so let's see here. Editor reference, keyboard mappings. There we go. Switch back over to the dashboard so I can keep an eye on chat. All right, so just as a quick recap of where we left off last time, we have our very, very simple little level here of an entrance. This door here, if I bring up its, oops, Control Z, didn't mean to move it. And turn on snaps before I forget. We set the teleport property on this door. And it does need to be a door. Remember, it has to show the door icon. There are doors that are not doors, if that makes any sense. So we set the teleport property to be the picket fence in the sanctuary cell. Because I find that immensely amusing. But then again, I'm easily amused. So it is, when we use this door, that's where we get teleported to, and likewise, that's how we get back into this vault for the moment. We have a COC marker, so that way when we we can COC or teleport into this cell for testing purposes. We've got a few basic lights that honestly are temporary lights. We need to definitely have these more properly set up, but they give us the lighting values for working. We did a very clumsy kit bash of taking the rocks, the cave system, and bashing it into the vault system so that we've got a hole in the wall. If I can get my rotates to work correctly here. So that way we have this hole in the wall that leads into this very bare bones cave system, or a room, I should say. Can't really call this a system in any sense of the word. And that is where we left off. Okay, so cluttering things up. There are two main categories of clutter objects that you can put in: statics and Havoc items. Havoc is the physics engine that Fallout uses. And so whenever I refer to a Havoc item, I'm referring to an item that can be impacted by the physics system. Anything that comes out of our static category here in our object window is not Havocable. I believe there is a way to make them Havoc objects, but I need to research into that to verify how that works. So initially, I am going to come in here to the cave, grab my rocks, and let's see here, just put in, because it just goes against everything that I have in me as a designer, to just leave this cave completely empty the way it is. Okay, Shift F, thank you. Remember, Shift F locks our rotate view onto that particular tile. And okay, widget, go away. And I have taken my scaling off, my snap off, because yeah, generally speaking, you're not going to want to snap I'm going to get a couple of rocks in here. Scale that one up as well. Make sure they're overlapping nicely. And then I think I saw some platforms in here. Ew, that might be a little bit difficult to use. What about this one? Nee. Oh, these ramps. Ramps curved left. Okay. All right, you know what? I think we can just plop in a column, scale it up a little bit. Maybe rotate it so it's not quite so obvious. Now, one thing I might want to do is sink this down, or do I want to raise this up? Let's take a look at our ramp. Curve left. Okay, as expected, I'm going to need to embed that to make sure that we don't have anything invisible happening. So yeah, I'm definitely going to need to pull this down a bit. Not quite sure I like the way that's bashing together, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave that because I really do want to focus on just Havoc clutter objects and getting things cleaned up here a little bit. Okay. So let's start taking a look at some of the Havoc objects that we have specifically for lights. Because like I said, we really want, let's Shift F, snap over onto this. Because I really want to have my light sources make sense. If we zoom way in here and look, there's definitely nothing to indicate on here as to where those lights are coming from. So this would still all be in the static stuff. So let's look at vaults and see what we have in the way of light. Let's see here. Ceiling, utility, no lights. I think these are for our rooms. I don't think these are things that I can very easily use. So let's see here. Seems to be some sort of a cable. Yeah, Christmas lights. No, not quite what I am looking for. Set dressing, let's see here. Floor markings. No. Sniffer wall. Ah, okay. That's what it means by that. Alright, so I think we might have to go into a different area for these things. Let's see, if we go into catwalks, I believe this is all, yeah, this is all just catwalk stuff. That's not going to give us what we need. Alright, so just to go through here and double check, ceilings we already looked at, custom, doors obviously would not be in there. Elevators we'll have to come back and take a look at some other time. There's definitely some stuff in there that we need to be looking at. Grebes. Well, since we're in here, we do need to have some like piping and stuff like that. To make this space feel a little bit more like it actually should be in here. Corners, okay. Let's actually get our thing spanned out here so we can overhead and left and right. Ah, okay. I see how those are supposed to be used. So let's grab those, drop it in, and not see anything. Oh, there they are. What the heck? No, okay, I think that's... Oh, there they are, way up there. Okay, let's... There we go. That's starting to make more sense. I need to have my snaps on. Okay. Now the tag of right and left makes a lot more sense. That's the side that the things are on. So let's see here, overhead. Let's see if I can get this to go up. So we'll drag in an overhead. We need to rotate that. Does not seem to want to match up there. So let's look at this. Well, I'm doing overhead and left. Down looks like no. That is interesting. I will not be defeated by mere copper wires. Let's double check the property on this to make sure its position is correct. Okay, That looks like it's on the correct snap values. Let's check this to make sure its snap values look okay. Yep, they do. Oops. And now I got to find, there he is. Interesting. All right, let's clear the snap value. All right, let's check this here. Control Shift A to align to a reference's position. Okay, so let's come back over here. Control Shift A, and I want to target that. And no, it's still and I can try to manually link it in, but that's hardly ever a good idea. Well, let's do this then. The original orientation on this was, let me bring this up and kill the rotation. Now drag in a conduit overhead. And will they line up this way? They will line up this way. And if I rotate them like that, they will behave themselves. Okay, that was a very interesting quirk. I must have gotten off somehow. Important lesson, I guess, or the takeaway, I guess, from that is don't be afraid to delete out pieces and re-add them back in their default orientations to get things to work correctly. So I'm just going to add this in, duplicate, move it down, rotate. Okay, now see, this one has now done the same thing. It's like rotating it separately somehow gets it off. Well, I should be able to solve that theoretically by here. What is it off? I think it's off in Z. No, I mean not Z. It's off in Y. So if I copy the Y value, then I should be able to force it to line up. No. It must have something to do with the rotations. Rotated at negative 180. Okay, I can't select the piece. Whoa, what is going on there? Right, because I'm suddenly trying to use Unity controls. Hello? Why can't I select you? Alright, what is going on with my selections here? What? is going on? Okay, I can... Oh, because I've got the... All right. Other takeaway from this. Make sure you don't leave a reference window open, because then you can't select the item that you're trying to do, you're trying to modify. There we go. So negative 7.99999, okay, interesting. And no rotation value despite the fact that I know I've rotated you. Okay, these pieces are being exceptionally strange. You know what? I am going to move on. It's like the rotation point is shifting somehow. If I delete that point off, okay, I lied, I'm not moving on because I just can't leave this unsolved. Okay, now those two are matching up. Delete that out and left. Ah, man, the controls on this are painful. Okay, where are you? There you are. Okay, that was phenomenally strange, but I've got my cables, so that's all I really care about. Okay, what other? I think these are all just cables, vents. A light pendant. So I'm guessing I can put a light on this or somewhere around here. I mean, okay, yeah, I get this, a light pendant, but that looks like it would be... Excuse me. Not particularly... Looks like that's really designed for higher lights. All right, well, let's move on from Greaves. Greaves seems to be something that I might even have to do a whole video just simply showing how those tricky things go together. Various hall pieces, room shells, okay. All right, let's then take a look at let's see, the set dressing stuff is where we should have most of our interesting pieces. Ooh, coolant pipes. There we go. We'll put some coolant pipes in here. And snap off. There you go, 2 little coolant pipes. Let's see what else we have in here. Cover door. Looks like for some fancier pieces, vault cover wall. Not really sure what to use for that. Cover windows, floor markings, we already looked at. Gear hoses. Sniffers, Christmas lights. Christmas tree. Why not? Now, in all honesty, when you're actually going through and constructing a level, you probably do not want to be quite so random with placements, but I just wanted to see how the Christmas tree looks. Okay, let's take a look here. Do we have anything called a static light group? I don't think so. Nope. But we do have... I saw props on here someplace. Whoops. Don't want to see everything. So static, actors, architectures, landscape, props. What do we have under props? Brass plaques, clocks, wall clocks. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, there was a way to snap things onto contact. Because, of course, F is snap to floor. So if I press F, that snaps it to the floor. But that's definitely not what I need. And what was that command? To snap it to contact on surface. Well, I will look it up later. For now, I'll just be content with putting a clock by the thing. Machine props, vehicles, weapons, terminals. Let's see here. Light, interior. Those are all actual lights. Let's take a look at everything that's in the light category. Lights, 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 lights. All those are actual lights. Okay. Let's look at furniture. Interiors. Building. No. Museum door animated. Institute. No, well, there's not much in there at all. Okay. Oh my, all sorts of interesting stuff in here. Let's expand out furniture. Do we have a vault? No. Looks like we can put in some workshop values. Our workshops, workstations, quest. Almost feels like we're missing stuff. There really should be more than this in here. All right, desk. There's got to be a desk in here someplace. So let's put in a filter for desk and look at all and see what we have. Clutter Gin Desk A. Set dressing, clutter, generic. What else do we have here? We have a desk lamp, which is in set dressing light fixtures. Okay, so that's getting me a little bit closer to figuring out where to actually find stuff. Office desk with key. Looks like those are some containers. Looks like, yeah, high-tech desk dirty. And again, set dressing. Okay. Well, let's actually drag this in. All right, so now we're finally starting to get some progress here. So I can put this desk up against the wall. Looks like everything is in set dressing. So let's go take a look at that. All right, let's open that back up. Model, set dressing, high tech, object, sounds, bounding box, containers. Oh, nope, okay. That doesn't actually tell me where it is, unfortunately. Can I say... use info, workshop, high desk, used in these cells. Okay, so it's been used a lot. That doesn't really tell me, though. Well, let's look for it this way. Items. Okay, it's in items. Miscellaneous items, desk, office, fan. So I should be able to drag that in and turn off snap. Move that up, snap it down. Okay. And we come back here and say, okay, I want a chair. Now, normally what you would do, evening Codsworth. Normally what you would do before actually trying to clutter up an area is you would want to take a moment to figure out what is the story behind this. Why does this space exist? I'm sure I can, but I haven't quite gotten to messing with NPCs yet. Maybe a little bit later on the stream I'll try and do that. But Codsworth has wanted me to put him into the scene. When we look at this, normally what you would want to do is you would want to have an idea or theme or story that you would want to try to tell with the objects that you put in your scene. So I'll bring that over. So now we're starting to get a little bit of clutter in here, which is good. I still need to find light sources though. So let's go to items and see what we have for light. No, I have not gotten into settlements yet, Dark Controller. I am still refamiliarizing myself with the interior cells, and then I will go on from there. And yes, I did used to make mods a very long time ago, but I kind of got out of the scene for a bit. But Fallout 4 was announced, decided to get back into it. Let's see here, ceiling cage. Ah, there we go. There's a light. Ceiling cage light short. Ha! And see, now we're starting to get places here with our light sources. What else do we have? Deco roof, no. Skylights, nope, don't want skylights. That's an actual light. Let's sort by form type. Sorting by form type is a good way of selecting things, the specific things that you want. Here, there's quite a few things in items that's called light. Oh, here we go, statics. Skylights, no, I don't want skylights. Now that could be particular good wall light. No, I don't art. I do not art. I can confidently say that I have the artistic talent of a 9-year-old, given that I have an actual 9-year-old to compare my artistic abilities to. I shall leave the texture mods to the individuals who can competently do such things. Oh, fancy light. And those are indeed some fancy lights. Fluorescent. There we go. That might work out okay. Doesn't really quite have... There we go. High-tech light. Perfect. That is what I have been looking for. High-tech ceiling light. Let's see here. Can I figure out where this is? Should have copied the name. See here. Ah, I lost it. No. Static. High tech. High-tech filing cabinets, desks, ashtray, light ceiling, dirty orange on. No, that's not what I wanted. No. Well, I'm finding a lot more high-tech lights now. Ah, here we go. Here's our high-tech light, some more of our high-tech light ceilings. No, none of you guys. Oh, there we go. This works, I guess. So, high-tech. Control C, Control V. Let's figure out where you are. Miscellaneous items? No. Object mod? No. Outfit? Weapon? Ammo? Armor? Okay, it's not in a subcategory then. That is very strange. But you know what? I am not going to argue about it. What exactly is the creation kit? How to explain that? The creation kit basically is a modified form of the tool set they use to create the levels. So Basically, it gives you access to all of the tiles, objects, creatures, stats, settings to be able to create basically your own expansion packs is one way you want to look at it. It gives you all the tools you need to be able to import audio, animation, set up your own NPCs, yada yada, so on and so forth. So it is a pretty powerful thing. Of course, as that old trite saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. And it's quite complex to learn how to use. Oops, I have that reversed. So here, I need to, there we go, rotate it. Like so. Heck, no, 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 no. All right. Yeah, that's not an uncommon reaction, Melinda. It is quite intimidating if you have never used, excuse me, never used these tool sets before. And you are welcome, Codsworth. All right, let's see. I need to go. I need to go off screen here and do a quick lookup on how to snap things to contact us here, because drop to ground is F. Okay, that one I knew. Actually, I guess I can go ahead and bring this window over here. Duplicate, edit, freeze camera, link, planes, load. Object palette is something we got to get into. Although, from what I can tell, unfortunately, we're all on our own for creating our own object palettes, which kind of sucks, to be perfectly honest. Snaps current selection to current. Okay, Shift K, Control S. Scaling lights, search and replace. Nope, don't need toggles, don't need toggles, don't need toggles. Okay, I will probably actually try to look that up later. How to snap things to contact. For now, I shall do the not quite so nice way of just eyeballing it. Assuming that I can. There we go. Okay. That was kind of oddish. Yeah, eyeballing things is generally not the correct way of doing it, but I don't want this to go over too long. And I have to admit that it is amusing to have Codsworth in my chat, so good job on the account name, at least on that. I'll put some T150 power armor. I'm sure why not. I might, just as a lark. It can be fun. That can be one of the fun ways. Hello, what are you doing, silly selection? That can be one of the fun ways, is just sort of to lighten up the brutality of initially learning the tile sets and such. Is just goofing around and putting in some silly stuff. And basically, Codsworth, I can effectively, assuming that I know where to find it, put anything I darn well please into this room. I want to put a fat man with plenty of ammunition available. I can do so. Oops, and since I'm deleting lights, I need to change this to day glow bright, so that way I can actually see. Actually, I suppose I could have just moved those lights around, but... Alright, now I gotta find them again. Guess I will duplicate this light. Turn my lights back on. Now this is what you generally do for lights. Is you want to have multiple lights in the scene to actually give you your lighting. So I've got, I'm going to actually scale this light down a bit, so that way it's not quite so intense, because I am going to have multiple copies of this light in the scene. You can see that lights things up pretty decently. And you know what, I am going to get rid of that light in the hallway because that's really kind of messing my light up in here. And then, let's see here. Let's go for ceiling on items, assuming that I can actually spell the word ceiling. One L. Alright, so got lots of ceiling. Let's do ceiling and light. Ah, that doesn't work. Ceiling L. Here we go. Packet. Filter string lights. What is this? Oh, neato. It is a package deal. Alright, so that's definitely something that I'm going to have to learn, is these new little pack things. So I have a default light warm, a ceiling lamp, and a light thin beam dim. Let's turn my markers off. Okay, so all of that stuff was markers. Just wanted to be sure on that. Alright, and how... Okay, so it's got... There we go. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to investigate that a little bit more closely. You know, yeah, so it would make sense to have a couple of these. So Control D. Let's look at a top-down view here. And these are very dim. And again, like I said, you generally will want to have lots of little lights in the scene. How often do I stream? I am trying to hold between every 2 to 3 days. With the end of semester coming up, I might not be able to hold to that. It's about as rough on us teachers as it is on students. But definitely after the semester ends, I'll be holding to once every other day for streaming. All right. I think I want to take a look at a player's eye view of this. Must close all dialog boxes before. Okay, saving. Yes. Fine, fine, fine. Be that way. All right. Now, as you guys are going to notice here fairly soon, I will not have sound. That is because I am currently listening to Wumpscut as I'm doing this stream. And, well, that would get the music content ID people angry at me if I actually had that coming across the recording. So I have my desktop audio muted. So, and actually I need to be ending this stream here pretty quick because I've been streaming for an hour. It's almost 11, so let's see how this looks. All right, let's COC Vault 198. It's always important to go in and take looks as you are developing the scene, because what it looks like in the editor and what it looks like in scene can sometimes really not match up very closely. So, oh, and of course, my mouse locks. I don't know what it is. Well, it's like the first time I go in, my mouse is locked the first time I use COC. I don't know if that's my system or what. Okay, I was expecting the lighting to be completely borked over here, although not quite to this extent. Looks like I'm getting a fair amount of light bleed coming off the ceiling, the other room there. And then let's just take a look here. Yeah, I don't know what it is with that COC locking it up. It seems to work fine after you quit to the menu once and then go back in and do the COC. And oh, hello, Void. I didn't notice you. Wonder how I missed that the first time around. Yeah, you do not want Void in your scene. Void leaking in is never a good thing. Yeah, I can jump up here on the rocks. Okay, so that's working pretty fine. Need to fix that. Need to put some glowy crystals in here. And do something about that. Because that was the second time I got stuck right there. Yeah, that's not good. Gonna have to put something there to fix that. Which, again, is sort of the importance of coming through and testing your scene to make sure things are working okay. Loot the fan and the picture frame. And I cannot sit down in the chair. I think it's because it's a static. Notice I also can't kick the chair or the desk. Again, that's the whole point behind with statics. So, all right, have a good evening, Codsworth. And my two very lone things. Let me come out of here. I forgot to look at my pipes to make sure they actually looked okay. Almost can't even really tell they're there, which I suppose is a good thing. That means they blend in perfectly well. And let's just make sure that that is still working correctly, and it looks like it is. Excellent. twiddle thumbs while we're waiting for my very slow computer to load up the scene. And then I think I will be calling it a night at this point. Yep, there we go. Discovered Sanctuary. Yay. I don't know, I find it an endless source of amusement that you gain access to a vault by trying to close a picket fence. And there we go. So let's rage quit out of this QQQ. And I think I'm going to leave it here. I think I'm actually going to off screen, off camera, get this area tidied up a little bit more, rather than just, I don't think it would make particularly interesting instead of streaming just to watch me bumble my way through trying to figure out where all the blasted things are. So I'll probably spruce this up a little bit off camera, and then the next time I stream we'll take a look at object palettes, which in the previous editor we actually had some object palettes set up for us, but we don't seem to have that this time, which is disappointing. And take a look at seeing about getting this nav meshed so we can actually put things in. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, you all for tuning in, and have a good night.